Hello Sirisa, how are you?
Hey Rohit, I'm good. How are you?
I am also good. So can you give brief introduction about yourself to our audience?
Sure. I'm Sirisha, working with Microsoft as a software development engineer one since last 6 months. Before this, I was working with Amazon transportation team. I have a total of 2 years of experience, and I'm a backend engineer as of now.
Okay, that's nice introduction. So how came to know about this opportunity? So whether it was on campus or off campus. So can you tell me
So
the little brief introduction about Amazon and then we start about Microsoft?
Sure. No worries. Amazon was an off campus and Microsoft was off campus too. I come from a tier 3 college, which is St. Martin's Engineering College, and we do not have much of placements as such. Unfortunately, I'm a pandemic hire. In 2020, there was a lot of mess around the placements and all that because of COVID, and we had the college being shut and placements not coming. Even the service based companies did not come for our batch. And I actually went for walk-in drives, a lot of walk-in drives to be like honest. There were quite a few which got rejected. I mean, from 2019 of March, I've been trying to get placed until November. I got rejected up to like 50 companies in walk-in campus drives. I got rejected, and it was in November that I got shortlisted for a company called as OpenText, and then there was Report Garden, a startup, and then there was NCR. So all these three companies back to back in a 3 day gap, I got three companies, which was like a hat trick for me. So yeah, those gave me an internship for my final semester of the college, and that's where I actually got confidence, and my coding skills were like I was practicing regularly, so I had a good touch on coding skills as well. And I kept practicing, and I didn't have much faith on myself, but then it was my seniors, my friends, my family who motivated me to try for a tier 1 company rather than these companies, because the packages of these companies was around 6 to 8 lakhs, and I had restricted myself that it's fine. 8 lakhs is still fine. I don't have to think about numbers because it's the start of my career. What I have to think about is the product or the kind of work I have to do. And luckily, all these three were product companies. Then that's when I actually started thinking of applying to all the uh, big companies, big shots. So I had applied for, I think, Adobe. There was this website. I don't remember the name, but there's a website where basically Adobe hires for all the tier 3 campuses people, and it was a women hiring drive. So I had applied for it, and I got rejected in the initial first round itself. I think in the online coding round. Then I got to know about this opportunity which Amazon had laid out for all the women engineers, which was Wow Campus hiring women of the world. The same thing happened again. I didn't have much faith, but then I thought, let's give it a try. What will happen at the worst? It'll be like I'll get rejected. Now, that's when I was actually working as an intern with NCR. My internship had already started, and I was interning with NCR from January. And this exam also happened around the same time. And in February, I got a call that I've been shortlisted for the interviews. And so the interviews were on campus since the COVID hit in March, and ours were, I think, the last batch which interviewed on campus in Amazon. So yeah, there were around 25,000 applicants who had applied, and 250 who got shortlisted after the online coding round. And out of which, I think Amazon rolled out the offers for 8 or 10 women engineers, out of which I was one of them. So multiple people had got internships plus full time offers. So some of them directly got full time offers. I was one of them who got the direct full time offer, and I was supposed to join from around May or so. But yeah, since again the same thing, COVID had delayed our joinings and all, and I joined around August in Amazon. Then coming to Microsoft, I would say Microsoft was obviously an off-campus drive because I was an experienced person, and for experienced people, it's never an on-campus placement that happens, right? So I applied through a friend. It was a referral, And yeah, I mean, I had applied to multiple teams. Some of them were Azure, some of them were I think Office teams, SharePoint team. And right now I'm working with Bing Search team, so Bing Search was one of them, and I got selected in this team. Yeah.
So I can say in word one, the story was insane. Like you started from applying lots of companies, giving lots of companies, having faith on yourself. You believe that one day I can, and slowly you start grabbing three placement back to back
Yes.
on a
Yes.
3 days, and then you
Yes.
crack Amazon, and then you crack Microsoft.
Yes. So there was a time when I hardly, I would say hardly got selected, or my resume got shortlisted for a company which used to pay 50,000 per year. And today I earn like double or thrice the money that I was looking for at annum level, at month level. So there's a huge difference between where I started from and where I've come right now. So
You should take a lap on yourself that you have done something in your life that most people want.
yeah,
Like
thanks a lot for that.
lots of people say that first of all you underestimate yourself, like in
Yes.
between 6 to 8 lpm, and lots of students including me, we underestimate ourselves that we can't do, but at least we will try. Slowly we will do. That will
Yes.
take time, but 100% that will take off. Like efforts will never go in vain. You have to
Yes.
just believe in yourself and try slowly. If you can't, try fast as with others.
Right. And I would say rejection is never something you
Yeah.
should be afraid of. I would say always, for example, I'll talk about two other experiences towards the end of the interview, probably. But yeah, what I will say is rejection is never something you should be afraid of. What rejection helps you with this? Where did you went wrong? I always used to do, initially, I didn't know how to do this analysis, but after I slowly started analyzing where I'm going wrong in the interviews, that's when I actually I started getting selected in multiple other companies. So, what was expected out of me and what I had delivered, if you analyze and understand that gap, that will be actually enough for you to, excel in your next upcoming interviews, is what I thought. And yeah, I think there were times when I was completely depressed, and I used to think competitive programming is the reason why I might not be getting selected. But that's a myth. I would say that's a myth. You do not need a competitive. I have not done competitive programming till date. I am in the industry for 2 years, and I've been coding since my class 11th. I have not done competitive programming till date. I just know the concepts very strongly, the CS concepts and DSA concepts, and I keep practicing regularly. Even today, even if I'm in the company and I'm not looking for a job opportunity switch or something, I make sure that I regularly keep practicing coding. So maybe once a day, or weekly thrice, like that. I have this habit of regularly keeping in touch with skills.
So one thing I want to say about CP, like CP is a totally myth. I can say, like if you are take CP as a sports, like if you are interested in CP apart from job, then you can definitely do. It's totally
Yes.
like a sports, like a cricket.
Yes.
You will give contest comparison with lots of others. But
Yeah.
people nowadays busted at CPs regularly need for your job, so you
No.
have to do. So it's
I don't say that because literally, I mean, competitive programming is just out of hobby that you do. It's not a
yeah.
mandate that if you're not a competitive programmer, you cannot. Even this thing that if you're not doing projects, you are not going to get selected. It's not like that. So you are just expected to have a bare minimum knowledge of how things work end to end, and that should be enough to actually be, placed in a very good company. Because I believe all the training happens on the job. How much ever you are prepared before getting placed, after you get placed things are different. And working on a production system which handles humongous amount of data, or millions of users, is completely different. How much ever you train, you will or train or get prepared, hands on experience is something which is very different.
I totally agree. So now we will talk something about Amazon. Your journey was totally long and you discovered really well, like from starting, and it was totally a very hard. you say like your journey in just 2 to 3 minutes, but I know how the journey was difficult, because you have to
Yes.
take everything step by step. You know, you want your, where you are wrong, where you was wrong, and what you have to just keep on finding your gaps and then fix it and then move on. So you take step by step and finally you conquered it in the Microsoft.
Yes.
Let's
Yes.
talk about the something about Amazon, just not like very big thing, like in not in
Yeah.
detail, just talk about something and then we will talk detail about Microsoft. Okay.
Sure. So I'll say Amazon was always my dream company because I always wanted to work with a company which had a great brand name and a lot of customers in it, and that was one. Second was Amazon happened to me in a very different. I mean, Amazon's interview. I had a very different state at home because my father was not well and he was hospitalized, and I actually thought of dropping the interview and not going and appearing for the interview because he was not in a very good, I mean, he was a little bit serious. But then it was my family which motivated me to go and take on the interview. At the worst, what will happen is you'll get rejected. We are there to take care of papa. You can go conquer your interview. Even if you do not get selected, it's fine. We will just be happy that in the situation you went and faced the interview. So I just went in, and I think we had one coding round which was online, based on which we got selected. So that is of easy level. I won't even say medium level. It was easy level, based on some arrays and sorting. So there were two or three questions and some CS fundamental MCQs. I have it like documented in a blog. If you need it, I can
Yeah,
give
yeah,
it so that you could link it for your
yeah, yeah.
viewers. Yeah. So apart from that, I think the second, third, fourth, and fifth. So there are total in 5 rounds. First one would be the online coding round, and then there are 4 technical rounds which happen. So all the 4 technical rounds were more around, testing my DSA skills, be it graphs or trees, or they were also again medium to easy medium level. They were not so much tough. So I would say in the WoW hiring event, what happens is the actual bar, if it is 100, for the diversity hiring, the bar gets a bit reduced. It is around 85, like that. So I won't say much, but a bit it is reduced. So I think I got a very kind interviewer in the very first round because I was not able to think through the question. I was given the tree question, and I was not able to basically get. I mean, I had the solution in my brain, but I was not able to basically speak out. I was drawing things, and I was able to demonstrate it. Towards the end of the interview, he asked me what happened. Why are you not able to think? And that's when I told him that this is my situation at home, and probably because that's going on in the back end, I'm not able to properly concentrate. So he pacified me. He gave me some time to think, and then he actually made me call my parents, get to know what the situation over there is, and they gave me 2-3 hours of time to get normal because I was crying, sobbing continuously after the first round. I didn't expect I would get shortlisted, but then from the first round, I got selected for the second round, and I had 2-3 hours to take a break. HR had informed me, so they were very empathetic towards me during the interview rounds. Then there happened second and third round, which were around again trees, and some one of them was around arrays. In the third round, I think the interviewer had asked me some question which I already know the solution for, and he just told me, if you know the solution, do not waste my time. We'll move to another question. I frankly told him I know the solution and let's move to the next question, and he gave me the next question. So I think I earned some brownie points over there. And then we had the bar raiser round on the same day. After my third round, I was actually told you're rejected. So I was happy. Okay, I made it till 3 here, and I started going back when I got a call again from the HR saying, actually, you are selected. There was someone else who was to be rejected, but we gave you as a rejection. So please do come back again. And the bar raiser round happened. So bar raiser was pretty cool. I mean, in general, bar raisers are little tough for everybody, but based on your previous rounds, bar raiser happens. So mine was pretty cool. I was just asked to give the logic. I wasn't even asked to write the code on the paper. So I mean, it went well all the 4 rounds, and I was not expecting. I mean, I didn't have any expectations or hopes out of the result. because by that time I was already interning, and I was like, if the offer comes in and it happens, it's well and good. If it doesn't happen also, it's fine, because I basically conquered my fears and went into the interview in a very bad state of mind. So that was what I thought. And then with I think on the women's day they rolled out offers, and I got the call that I've been selected. So that was the placement on campus placement sorry, off campus placement interview journey I've described. After going into the company, it was a roller coaster drive for me, because from the very first day you are expected to basically start coding. You do not get much of the trainings. You just have some videos which you have to see, understand the system, start making the code changes. And like, I when I entered, my mentor was basically leaving from the company, and the team was already on an attrition this thing. So we had very less people who could help me out, and my manager was also basically getting switched on the second week itself. My manager was switched, and I had some other reporting manager. So there was a lot of chaos which happened in the initial days. But then slowly, like, it took me around 2 months or 2.5 months to ramp up, get to know things, and then settle my legs in the company. But I was working with customer returns in initial days, and I didn't like much of the work over there. So I switched to another team, which was my manifesting transportation team in Amazon. And I worked in manifesting team for an year or so. And there it was pretty much like I told, we used to handle users of millions scale. And uh, the service was very highly scalable and highly operational. So we had a lot of opportunities to basically figure out things, and means work on some things which were basically impacting a lot of users. And yeah, I mean, the drive has been very, I mean, the growth has been very steep in my transportation team. But then, yeah, like I told, Amazon has very high operational load, and I was basically not very well. I mean, it started affecting my health. I was having a lot of health issues. So I thought, let's take a break now from Amazon, and let's move to another company, probably
You must have got
some tier
this
one.
type of guts to take
Sorry.
break. Like lots of people don't even move from their comfort zone, like to think of break.
Yeah. So I thought, let's move to some other domain as well, because I was working on Java. And the skills I learned was very good, because I never had worked on AWS cloud, or a React front end. Although I did some projects back in college, but they were not of production level, this thing.
Yes, yes.
So I used to do all these, and there were a lot of opportunities given to us. If you want to, let's say, and basically we had a lot of operational load in that team. And I was more, I mean, this team also had a lot of attrition, and we were like only a few people left. Luckily, I mean, I had supportive seniors in my team here as well, and they actually guided me towards, a lot of good projects. I mean, I worked on 3 or 4 good projects in manufacturing team, and this had a this shaped my career well, and I learned a lot of AWS technologies as well. So learning wise, the curve has been very good in Amazon. But yeah, like I told, since the operational load was high, I thought of like moving out. And that's when I started looking out for good companies which had good work. I was more into open to exploring new domains. And I thought, rather than doing some e-commerce, I would go for somewhere where we had something else as a business. So I had interviewed with Media.net, which is an advertising this thing, and I got the offer. And then I interviewed with multiple teams in Microsoft. Like I told, SharePoint was one of them. Azure were a few. And then I interviewed with Bing Search Team. This is completely new domain. So I then got the offer, and I accepted basically Microsoft. So here, I think the tech stack is completely different from what we had worked over there. It's a bit legacy also, because there's a lot of code which is like 10 or 15 years old. And uh, like I said, there is a lot of data processing that happens in our team as of now, because we preprocess and crawl the data on a daily basis and store them. And whenever the user basically does a querying based on the ML models, we classify them into some set of, so let's say any query is made, whether it's a tech query or a sports query or a events query like that, and then show the appropriate results to the user. So I am in the events domain of Bing Search. There are multiple verticals, so ours is one of them. That basically summarizes my last 2 years of journey.
So like that's lots of things you have done in the last 2 years,
Yeah.
from Amazon to Microsoft, NCR, and lots of other product-based company. You also got
Yes.
offers from Media.net, right? And one more
Yes.
company.
Open text and report garden too. But I didn't work with them. Yeah, NCR, see, like I told in the February I interviewed with my Amazon. March I had the offer, and my internship with NCR was up to till June or something. And since I had Amazon's offer, I was like in a chilling mode ki I'll just chill in the final semester of my college. Whatever I had to achieve, I had achieved. So I was just, doing some bug fixes. And so NCR had this product of, I was in the banking ATM system. So NCR has multiple products. There's one cloud service, and there's the activated enterprise product, which is basically providing software for ATM machines across the world. And there was another health related product. So I was in the activated enterprise product, where we used to roll out features for different banks, their ATMs and their softwares, regular testing, upgradation, UI changes, and then software development. So that was a whole different domain that I had worked with. But yeah, there I've had a lot of fun. I mean, I was in the chill mode, and COVID also had hit. एग्जाम्स भी पोस्टपोन हो गए हैं, सब कुछ मतलब ऐसे मतलब मजे कर रहे हैं हम लोग कि हाँ भाई ऑफर आ गया, मजे हो रहे हैं बस.
So that was necessary. Like you have to
Yeah,
chill sometimes. That will refresh your mind. You know that you work start in Amazon from August or
yeah,
July. So now let's talk about like what are the rounds in the Microsoft after 2 years
yeah.
experience. What changes, like you give interview in a Amazon as a freshers, but now you are give interview as a experienced person. So what are some
Yes.
changes? Let's talk in detail about this.
Sure. So I think changes wise, I would say the number of rounds and the kind of rounds were pretty similar. First, you are given a codility online exam. You clear that, some percentage cutoff is there. If you clear that, you are basically invited for an interview, all that stuff. But then the level of questions would be a bit increased. Yeah, I would say Microsoft was not that high level, but yeah, Media.net expectations were really high. I had a really tough time cracking all the interviews, and after every interview, I used to think probably I'll get rejected because I didn't give my 100%, is what I used to think. But yeah, most of my rounds around Media.net or Microsoft were DSA itself. Some of them involved asking questions around designing some systems. So even that designs were never a complete high level design. They were like low level designs questions. So I think in Microsoft we had some designing a cache system. Yeah, designing an L1 or L2 cache was one of the question which I had. And there was some other where they just touched the base upon how I am basically thinking of thinking of breaking the given problem into sub problems. So as an experienced developer, yeah, by the time I was interviewing with Microsoft, I just had 1.5 years of experience. So the initial first 2 years or 2.5 years, I am an interviewer and I take interviews in Microsoft. I did take interviews in Amazon as well. So the expectation out of any potential candidate is basically having basic DSA knowledge, basic coding skills. Plus, depending on the experience you show, we start asking questions on around that place. Yeah. So if you have 3 to 4 years of experience, you are expected to have some master skills of high level and low level designs. But if you have only 1.5 2 years of experience, if you just are expected to understand how do you break things into multiple this things, how can you design some system on a low level. That was the basic expectation out of this. And I think that you don't need to prepare. I mean, I did refer some of the YouTube channels, and some of the, I think, Grokking the System design interview was one of them which I had referred, and a few other tutorials online, but not very much in detail कि मतलब ये सब design वाला पढ़ना है. I didn't do that much of level of preparation on design basis, and I was moving into a similar role, मतलब SD1 to SD1 transition, so I didn't have to prepare much on design thing. But I have friends of mine who actually moved from SD1 to 2 into companies like Amazon, coming out of a startup. So there they had to spend around 3 to 6 months preparing only on design and this thing. So I think even since the question has come already, I'll just tell, for an SG2 or an L61 role at Microsoft, you are basically expected to give three coding rounds, and one round will be completely on design. And out of the three coding rounds, also, I think one or two, some of them would touch base on design skills.
So that was like no difference from SD1 to SD1 when you switch to Microsoft. Like little
Yes.
bit difference. Some design patterns they will
Yes.
they
And
actually
the
ask.
level of coding skills too. So yeah, as a fresher, you are just writing simple code. You do not think of
Yeah,
extensibility, or you do not think about writing code in functions. You just write everything in the main class. No readable code. That is all avoided, and they don't take into consideration as a fresher. But as an experience, if you write the same level of code, they do not basically want that.
they
So
want clean
yeah.
code and readable code.
Yes.
So
Yes.
now let's talk about the main part, like how you prepare yourself for this. Like what are the resources you used as a fresher, as experienced person. So tell me in detail, like from where you read coding, where you learn coding. So what was your
Mhm.
basic skills from starting from first year of college, and all those
Okay.
resources you try out.
So I think I started coding back in 11th. Like I told, I come from a CBSE background, and in our KV Kendra Vidyalaya, we had this C++ in the 11th and 12th class. So that's where I started, coding, and I liked the subject, and that's when I decided, even if I get into IIT or not, I would be picking up computer science as my uh, field of career. I mean, for in future. So either CSE or IT, I was fine with. I was ready to compromise any college, and I just wanted the branch to be specific because I knew this is what I like doing. From first year itself, I think we started working on this coding skills, and I think by the end of first year and in the start of second year, I had made my mind that I will start working on some small projects, so that I get to know how things work end to end. And I wanted to go into web development field, and I think during my 4 years of college, I have basically explored all fields which are available in computer science. Not all, but majority of them. I explored data science, I explored ML, I explored AI, I explored cybersecurity field. I did some of the web development projects, and then there were some automation related stuff that I did. So I was basically on an exploration path because I wanted that by the end of fourth year, I should be very clear on what field or what job or what role I want to go into, because that's the best time you get. I think
Yes,
people do keep exploring even after getting into the field, but I felt after getting into the field, exploration will be like wastage of time, and career growth would be slow. So I had this plan in my first to second years itself, and second year is when I started picking up multiple different projects and doing some coding. So there I started small. I did small games like tic tac toe. Then I did small some a PHP website, complete PHP based front and back end website, which used Postgres as the DB. And then there were some attendance management system, feedback systems, which I did. All were around web development. So that's where I found that I have this inner love for development backend majorly. So I kept doing that, and I think I also did an internship in data science and ML towards my third year start. And yeah, coming to preparation, so projects and all are like just a secondary part.
yes,
Regularly I used to do coding. This was all when I used to get a little break between my exams or in college time. So it's not like I've avoided my college. I'm my college topper the entire
You are
batch.
basically like Sarma ji ki beti.
Yeah, so that I've never avoided. And so I had basically multiple backup plans. Ki plan A was software engineer, nahi hue to plan B mein I'll become a computer teacher in Kendriya Vidyalaya. If not, plan C was I was into NCC as well. I'm an NCCC cadet. So I got my NCCC certificate.
Complete package.
Sorry.
Complete package girl.
Yeah, so I was like कुछ भी नहीं हुआ तो आखिर में we'll go into some defense jobs. So that was how I had planned. So this was all planning which I did up just after I got my results after 12th. IIT नहीं हुआ तो बैकअप प्लान क्या था कि किसी भी लोकल कॉलेज में जाके चले जाओ एंड देन विल सॉर्ट इट आउट बट देन आई वांटेड कि कॉलेज के बाद में ये नहीं होना चाहिए कि हाथ में जॉब नहीं है. So there was a lot of research and analysis and planning I had done before getting into my college. Yeah, coming to preparation, I think Lead Code, HackerRank, HackerEarth, and InterviewBit. These four websites have been the core, my friends since the beginning. HackerRank, so we didn't have a kind of coding community in our college. There were seniors who had created this coders club, but from our batch only a few boys and I was one of the girl who used to come and code. Now in the initial days I used to ask my friends in my batch ki ladkiyon se bolo ki chalo yaar karte hain but nobody showed interest. So I actually thought ki kya hoga agar ladki hua ya ladka, let's just make friends and create a community among ourselves and start competing with each other. तो हमारी ना challenges लगती थी कि तूने कितने प्रॉब्लम किए मैंने इतने प्रॉब्लम किए.
So
This is
one
how.
question like वो लड़कियां अब इंटरेस्ट दिखा रही है आप में कि
अब तो
अब
दिखाएँगे
दिखा दे
ऑब्वियस है।
कि माइक्रोसॉफ्ट में जॉब दिला
अब तो ऑब्वियस है, अब तो देयर इज़ नॉट इवन अ सिंगल पर्सन हू डज़न्ट शो इंटरेस्ट। दे आर लाइक कैसे कर लिया तूने? कहाँ से कहाँ पहुँच गई तू? दिस सो आई हैव दिस बिग पोस्टर्स इन माय कॉलेज विथ माय नेम ऑन फ्लेक्सी बोर्ड्स एंड इतने का पैकेज लगा है इतनी कंपनीज़ में। सो ऑब्वियसली दे विल डू दिस ऑल फॉर देयर बिज़नेस। बट या आफ्टर दैट ऑब्वियसली एनीबॉडी वुड कम एंड से I want to be in this position. How do I get there? So even today, I've been coaching so many students of mine. There are so this coders club that I've told has been the core reason why I'm here. There were seniors who actually used to come all the way from Bangalore to teach us on weekends with free of cost. They didn't charge us any money. So that culture I continued after my BTech, and I helped 50 students get placed in big product companies.
that's
So all these. There was a lot of exploration and fun during these coding classes that we did. Apart from the normal coding, so there were times when we were given a task and we were basically used to teamed up and were expected to build out of a given task. So a lot of fun activities and so basically based on these coding classes, some of the students were shortlisted for a specific training which was given by industry experts at Triple IT Hyderabad. So most of the colleges around Andhra Pradesh and Telangana had their students coming in, but only 80 people were selected towards the end for the training, and I was one among them. It's the Mission R&D organization, which was founded by one of the founder from Microsoft and Adobe. Adobe vice president and Microsoft's senior software engineer were the founders for this organization. Unfortunately, we were the last batch, so this could not continue, and basically none of my juniors got the chance to get the training from these experts. But nevertheless, we took up the challenge and we actually helped train our juniors. And proud to say most of them are present. Two of them are actually working at Amazon. So I feel really proud looking at them that I trained them and they are here now. So
so you have to contribute like that is a good idea like lots of people went to Amazon Microsoft but they never look back to their juniors to what to
yes,
contribute and help them so it is necessary to maintain the chain like
yes,
lots of people will message you about their like how they help you in the contribution
yes. Yes.
so that was true
Lot of people, I think link on LinkedIn as well, I get a lot of requests that we need guidance and I try doing my part
yeah you
because
can't do
that's
alone
how I grew. Yeah. And I think, like you asked about the resources, apart from these coding websites, there's nothing I've done anything specific as such. It's just the regular practice that I've been doing. And I think I would recommend cracking the coding interview book as well. And there are some standard books for OS and DBMS, which like Galvin is one of them, which I completely read during my BTech and after BTech as well to clear my concepts around OS. Then there were a few DBMS books as well. I don't think they were standard books, but some good books which I referred from my libraries. And then I think computer networks was always my favorite subject. So Tenenbaum is one which I always read through. So there are good books out there for system design as well. Right now I've been going through designing data intensive applications, and there's one other system design book, and planning to go through clean code as well because that will help me in my job. So yeah, I think these are the pretty much all the resources that I've been following, and I don't think you would require anything else apart from this to basically crack any interview out there. And I don't think anything is impossible. It's just that you get rejected, but after a certain period of time you'll again get the opportunity and you can basically conquer it. So never lose any opportunity. As many interviews as possible, keep giving, and even if you're getting rejected, because every rejection has a learning out of it.
That's nice. So, any advice or any outro for students who are preparing for placement or who are facing rejection right now? Currently, the placement season is going on.
Yes, I don't think I have any specific advice as such. Just have faith in yourself, believe in yourself, keep working on the skills you have, and never think that you are lesser than somebody else. So many of them actually get nervous looking at the competition. Now that we are doing virtually, we don't get this, but when we were in on campus, even I used to get a bit depressed and nervous looking at the competition around. But then do not get nervous about that. Always have faith in your skills, always have faith in your uh, preparation, and give your best in the interview. So in the interview, do not think about what result is or what outcome is. Even today I follow this process. If there is some question coming in during the interview, uh, you should be like this: how do I solve or crack this problem by the end of the interview given this period of time? And since you asked me for preparation candidates, I used to do these challenges, time based challenges on hacker rank and interview bit with some random pairs. So they do random pairing with some coders,
I see.
and yeah, you get some time to basically solve a coding question. So that actually helps you keep track of your timing, and that's very very helpful during the interviews. And also do pen paper coding rather than doing on
Yes, yes.
editors. Pen paper coding helps because you can actually break down the problem, write things directly, and you don't need an editor or
Yes,
intelligence
yes.
to basically write so because that's how we have been like giving interviews, and I take interviews as well. I do not give people editors or so. I give them the notepads to basically write interviews for. So, I mean, all big tech companies do that. They are expected to code on whiteboards. And if you're giving some design level, I'm not a very, I'm not at the SG2 level or design level, this thing. So I would not much give advices on that. But yeah, if you're doing design level things also, I would say try breaking down the problem, come up with a HLD first, make sure that I mean, which part of the system interviewer wants you to focus on, get all your requirements clear, and then start thinking of the mid level or the low level design.
Okay. So that was nice talking to you. You really worked hard. Like, I am talking all this thing in 36 or 45 minutes, but you did really hard work, and the hard work actually shown in your positive confidence. Like, you did explain all these things very well, break down all the approaches, how you get into product based company. So nowadays, like, lots of people फेस कि मुझसे नहीं हो पाएगा, तो ये सामने एग्जांपल है कि कैसे हम लोग क्रैक कर सकते हैं। और एक चीज और मिथ होता है कि सीजीपीए मेंटेन नहीं करो, वो नहीं करो, तो ये सबसे
That's not
मेंटेन
true.
किया इन्होंने। सीजीपीए मेंटेन किया, कंपनी मेंटेन किया, डिफेंस सेक्टर में मेंटेन किया, एंड सी अभी करेंटली वो माइक्रोसॉफ्ट में काम कर रही है। तो ऐसा नहीं कि हम लोग सब लेके नहीं चल सकते। आजकल सबको चाहिए कि मुझे एग्जैक्ट बता दो कि करना क्या है, कितने टाइम फ्रेम में होगा, कितना घंटा लगेगा, उसके हिसाब से पढ़ेंगे। बहुत सारे पूछते हैं कि कितना घंटा लगेगा। सो दैट वाज नॉट द
Mm.
राइट क्वेश्चन, बिकॉज इट इज डिफरेंट फॉर डिफरेंट पर्सन।
True that, because apart from these, I was actually running a business during my college days. I am an artist and I've been painting since last 14 years now. I used to run a business as well. तो पार्ट टाइम जॉब भी करती थी, ट्यूशंस भी लेती थी, आर्ट का बिजनेस चला रही थी, एनसीसी में थी, कॉलेज में कोडिंग क्लासेस करती थी, कॉलेज की पढ़ाई मेंटेन की. सो देयर आर अ लॉट. So the key to this thing
Excuses
is
नहीं.
how are you managing your time is what matters.
We
मतलब
will do
आपको
another
पता है.
session on time managing because I think
Sure,
you are the best person for this. Like how to manage
sure,
time.
sure.
Like lots of people ask this question, how to manage time effectively. And you did lots of things like business. And if I will continue this session, I think you will explain 10 more things.
Yeah, sure. I think, yeah. I mean, I have been always been a person who's not wasted a single minute of the time. I don't like
Same like
killing time
I
or
also
wasting time.
maintain a to-do list
Yeah.
before going to bed. And once you make your to-do list and you are clear that what you have to do next day in the next
Yes.
24 hour, then there is no excuse. You will do the time accordingly. You will set your priorities accordingly.
Yes. So I think thanks a lot to you, Rohit, for approaching me for this interview. I think this is the first time I've interviewing for some podcast or some YouTube channel. So thanks a lot for
Thanks a lot
approaching me.
for your experience also. Like you give really best insights till today. Like I have taken lots of podcasts, but this was really fun and interesting. Like lots of people do one thing, but you did really lots of things. So we will do surely one more podcast on time, like how to
Sure,
manage
sure,
time
sure.
effectively. Thank you very
I
much,
am open to it.
Srisha.
Thanks a lot, Rohit. Hope you have a nice day. And you could also mention this that I am open to guidance. Anyone can approach me on LinkedIn anytime. I would make sure that I try helping out as many people as I can because I am at this position because of a lot of seniors and a lot of friends.
So you are on
And
topment.io or anywhere else from where you can like guide, or from LinkedIn you will guide.
I guide on LinkedIn and I also guide through Google, sorry, Gmail. First, people reach out to me on LinkedIn and then through Gmail chats, we keep basically in touch.
That I will give all the details about you, like how to get in touch with you.
Sure, sure.
Thank you very much, Srisha. Again,
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, Roy. Have a nice day.
have a nice day. Same to you.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.